This is episode 21 of Post Production Podcast. Hello and welcome, all you amazing people out there, to the Post Production Podcast. Thank you for joining us as we talk about the latest in TV, movies. I'm your host, Mr. Drew, and with me, of course, is my co-host, Adam.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Adam.
Good morning. How's it going?
Nice.
It's nice.
It's nice.
Oh, okay.
It's nice.
Very good. What are we talking about?
Today we are doing our post-Oscars podcast. We were going to do a pre one, and then we got our dates
and
mixed
then we
up.
realized that
We got a little brain fart
okay.
there. It's okay. It's all good.
No, it's okay. I actually do want to talk about the Oscars. I mean, there's only so much you can do before, but when we actually know who won and everything that happened on the night, that's great. So,
are you happy? Are you happy with the results of the Oscars?
I am. I think there were definitely some that I definitely wanted to go to other people, but knowing the way that the Academy and the critics kind of go, and
it's
also
fixed.
looking at
it's all fixed.
No, not at all. No, of course not. And when
fix is in.
When you realize, just how the Academy works, because there's thousands of people who are considered the Academy, and they all, if it's the Oscar for, makeup or something like that, makeup and costume or whatever, only people in those respective fields can vote for those. So it's not like a cinematographer is voting for who did the best makeup.
Not everybody has an opinion. Only qualified
exactly.
people make the judgments on those things, which makes sense.
But everyone in the Academy, no matter what part you're in, can vote for Best Picture. That's where everyone comes together and votes for that one.
Okay, that's good.
Let's just start off with.
Did you like Jimmy Kimmel?
I love Jimmy Kimmel, and I mean, he's my favorite, late night host. He's just so honest and genuinely funny.
I think genuine is the perfect word for him.
Yeah, I mean, because look, a lot of people say that Jimmy Fallon is a little fake, and it's kind of obvious, or it's kind of just.
When I watch Jimmy Fallon, I think he's a puppet.
Yeah, he laughs at literally everything, and he
just looks like a puppet. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jimmy Fallon, but in recent, in the past year or two, I've been switching to Jimmy Kimmel just because I like how authentic he is. You know, he's just really great and really funny, and I liked the Oscars last year, and the fact that they brought him back says something about him and how people liked him. So yeah,
I love the little add-on where he gave away the jet ski for the fastest.
It's so good.
That was so great. Speech. And then later on, he's like, we need to sweeten the deal here. We're going to add this trip, and we need to get this moving, people. To
the Days
Inn, at Lake Havasu. It just shows this completely overcrowded lake. It's like, yeah, that looks peaceful and relaxing.
So good.
Sure, why not?
And I was like, is this serious? Is he actually going to do this? And then when they brought them out on the jet ski, which it went to the costume designer, the one who won the costume design, and he comes out on stage with the
and he's
jet
on
ski.
The jet ski.
What's funny is I follow Rachel Morrison, who was the one of the cinematographers, one of the nominees. I follow her on Instagram, and she posted a picture of him holding his actual envelope for the Days Inn stay that he won, which was pretty good. So I'm glad he won that.
That's good. All right, so let's jump right into it. So Best Picture,
Shape of Water. And it was great because my mission was to watch all of the nominees for Best Picture, and I was able to do that, so I'm pretty proud of myself because last year that was something that I wish I had done before the Oscars. But yeah, I mean, having seen all 9 of the nominees, as soon as I saw The Shape of Water, I knew that this was something special, and I knew that it was as good as everyone was saying, and I knew it was up there for chances to get some Oscar nods. So
which is so interesting because we had talked about this earlier last night at work. Like you see the first trailer that this comes out and you're going, what the hell, and then you talk about it and we're like, okay, yeah, describe how this movie is, and yeah, it's a mute girl that falls in love with the creature from the Black Lagoon, and that's all you can say about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's going, best picture. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? I mean, but
I think the part is directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro is such a visionary
that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like the first time I saw that trailer, I was absolutely just like turned off by it. I was like, I mean, I had no interest in it. And I think we had watched a movie and that trailer came up and I just turned to you and I said, yeah, no, I'll pass. But when the Oscar nominees came out and all this buzz around it came out, I knew that it was something that I kind of had to see. And you had seen it before me, and you were like, yeah, dude, it's
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily I was able to see it in theaters, which was great. Like, it's really worth it to be in that kind of environment and see the amazing cinematography and everything like that on the big screen. Like, I just love the experience. But yeah, like, talk about a movie that, like, just turned your whole opinion around. Like that, I think it's easily my favorite movie of the year now.
Wow.
Yeah. Just because it's so complete, like every little thing. I mean, what was your reaction to the choice of Best Picture?
Well, for me, it was. I mean, given the nominees, I was like, yeah, that's a sure win. I mean, of all of them, that's the one I wanted to win. I just don't get how Dunkirk was on that list. I mean,
it was good.
It was good. The cinematography, really good. Everything about that was good, but it's like, there wasn't enough in it for it to be Best Picture, in my opinion, kind of a thing,
I don't know. I mean, look, to be honest, like, I'm going to be completely brutally honest. I fell asleep during Dunkirk. Like, I really did.
It's not a...
And it wasn't, I mean, I don't fall asleep in a lot of movies. And, we work graveyard, so that may have been, contributing factor in that.
I don't believe that's a contributing factor. I think if a movie is good and interesting enough, you're not going to fall asleep.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I love Christopher Nolan. I love him. I love Hans Zimmer's score. I thought it was great. But yeah, I mean, as far as Best Picture goes, I was pretty positive it was not going to them.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see Get Out win. I would have loved to see that just because so many people say how it's not an Oscar movie. And the fact that we can turn that around by having it win Best Picture, it would just be an incredible kind of feat. But
right.
No, I knew that The Shape of Water, just because of its ode to old Hollywood and its creativity and originality, like all of that combined, like
it's just a beautiful movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the writing was extraordinary, and Guillermo del Toro, I listened to some interviews with him, and he's so fascinating and so cool because he just, I mean, his lookout on life and everything is really great, and also in this whole political climate with all of these movements, whether it's gender equality or whatever it may be, this movie is about appreciating those who are different and those who, may not have a voice, so to speak.
Exactly.
And all of that and everything behind it, all the meanings behind it, it's really beautiful, and I think it's something anyone can get behind. So, yeah, I mean, shout out to Shape of Water for winning. All the Best Picture nominees, out of all of them, I'd say my least favorite was probably Darkest Hour, just because it was kind of boring towards the beginning and middle, I feel like.
Yeah, it needed a little bit of a ramp up.
Maybe it's something, a disconnect because we're Americans and we don't really have that.
I actually, watching it, I learned a lot because I really didn't know whole lot about Churchill. And I thought it was fascinating that, this whole kind of like build up to that war, and a lot of the English, people in power were just like, let's settle for peace.
Let's
let them take over. Let's let them do this because we want to,
Yeah.
You know, we want to like protect our people, which in reality they want to protect what's theirs.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And it's kind of funny to look at it as kind of an outsider because, you know, the English Empire, you know, back in the day colonized so many different places. You know?
For a tiny island, they had massive influence.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, the fact that they are the ones now in trouble and in danger of that happening to them, now they're like, no, let's stand our ground, which, you know, that's great, you know, cool, whatever. But, yeah, it was hard for me to just kind of empathize with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But, I mean, of course, it's Hitler, you know, so, of course, you don't want him to win and don't want him to get more stuff. So, and was that before the U.S. entered the war? I believe
it was way before.
Yeah, it was because there was a conversation with the president.
Yeah, because
that was very. Yeah, I love that scene.
2 years prior to that, the U.S. signed a non-aggression pact.
Yeah.
With what was going on, so they couldn't aid. They couldn't, and that's why, you know, he was on the phone. And he's like, "Hey, man, I want my planes that I bought." And he's like, "Sorry, you know what? We can't really give them to you.
Yeah,
you know, we can leave them outside. You can come grab them with some horses." And I was like, I'm actually kind of interested to see if that I mean, the conversation had to have happened that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a conversation to have with
seriously.
the U.S. president. And it's just
crazy.
Like,
yeah.
Who's this, Trump?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
I was happy with the nominees. I was happy that Shape of Water won. I mean, out of all of them, I mean, just thinking about the movie in just a blank way, it's like, okay, it makes no sense. But then you watch this movie and you're completely enthralled with the story just from the very moment it starts.
Yeah.
Just the world that he builds and the way he conducts that symphony of art and cinema, and you're just going, wow, man, I'm really liking this movie.
It really pulls you in.
Yeah, it does. It does.
The world that, in any movie that Guillermo del Toro builds is incredible. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Pan's Labyrinth. I think that's one of my favorite movies, and I've loved that since I was a kid. I mean, it came out in 2006. I don't know when I didn't watch it right away, but my whole family loves that movie. Can't even tell you how many times I've seen that movie. But yeah, he's such a great talent and well deserved. I mean, he also got Best Director, which was incredible.
I was gonna lead right into that.
Yeah.
So, you know, of course, you know, with Best Picture, it's not always the same that, you know, the two go hand in hand, but I mean, this one is definitely deserved.
Yeah. What was kind of funny was, you know, with last year, they split that up because I feel like, of course, if you guys remember from last year, it was Moonlight and La La Land who were kind of battling it out for those two, Best Picture and Best Director, and the Academy kind of split the vote on that. So, so this year it's kind of, it's great that The Shape of Water won both, which is really, really cool. And Guillermo del Toro, that was his first Best Director Oscar, and that was his best. Was it his first? Yeah, it was his first Best Picture too. So I mean, with the catalog and the filmography that he has, like now he can officially be up there with like the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go right down the list now.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to talk about all of these little categories, but some of the major ones, you know, so we have the actor and the actress in the leading role. So, you know, Frances McDormand gets plucked out for 3 Billboards for Best Actress.
Yeah. And
are you on board with that?
As a person who, look, I didn't know how to feel about this movie. And the more I think about it, the more I don't like this movie. But she is absolutely the best part in the movie.
She is. She's the driving force in that movie.
And yeah, I mean, without her, this movie wouldn't be in the Oscars, I don't think.
No.
But her performance is so powerful that I think it was well deserved. I mean, I would have loved to see Sally Hawkins win for The Shape of Water, because to portray a mute woman and give that emotional, just all of that into the scenes that she had in that movie, like it made, I mean, I couldn't imagine this movie with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was great that it was someone a little unknown to the majority and everything, but going back to...
Well, I mean, unknown, yes, but I mean, she has that look about her of old Hollywood, which which is kind of this setting, this theme, this theme setting of where Shape of Water takes place. I mean, I thought she did good, but
Frances McDormand, I mean,
she was a driving force and a powerful force in that movie, and
she's been sweeping every other Best Actress award leading up to this. So, I mean, I kind of knew it was going to her.
Yeah. I mean, Meryl Streep did great in The Post.
She was the best part of The Post.
But she was she didn't drive the movie like Frances did, I think.
Yeah.
The
other ones, I mean, Saoirse Ronan from Lady Bird, she was incredible, and I really, really adore that movie. I actually didn't see I, Tonya.
I Tonya was fantastic.
Was it? Okay.
But, Margot Robbie's portrayal of Tonya Harding was amazing, but it just... it
didn't live up to...
Yeah, it didn't even come close to Frances's performance in Three Billboards. Yeah. So, I completely agree with that. And I'm glad that that's pretty much the only thing that Three Billboards got besides Sam Rockwell as the best supporting actor.
Yeah. Well, going into actor in a leading role, though, Gary Oldman, we talked about Darkest Hour. He's incredible. And that was another one that was kind of like, I mean, the other ones are good, but he's really, I mean, again, he's been sweeping with all the other awards leading up to this. So it was almost a given that he would win. And his performance was powerful as Winston Churchill, and well deserved, and I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and actually, I really, the hair and makeup was so good for him that I didn't see Gary Oldman.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, they just plucked this guy out of like a time capsule, and they're like, dude, you just need to just do all your speeches over again.
Yeah, it was very important that you didn't know it was Gary Oldman, because if you did, I think this movie would have been different.
Yeah.
But I mean, shout out to the hair and makeup for Darkest Hour, who did win
for the Oscar, which was fantastic.
Which again, I was rooting for, and I had actually picked to win that one. So happy about that.
Yeah. So now, actress in a supporting role. I actually agree with this. I mean, I haven't seen Mudbound. Laurie Metcalf was incredible in Lady Bird. I haven't seen Phantom Thread, so I can't speak for Leslie Manville. And Octavia Spencer was really, really, really a pleasure in Shape of Water. But Allison Janney and I, Tonya was... You just hated this woman. This was like the mother from hell times 1,000, and you just when she just does her, you cringe. You're just like, oh my god, and you actually feel bad for Tonya. You're just like, oh my god, what did this girl go through? I would have just jumped off a cliff if I had a mother like that. She's just horrid. I mean, forget Cruella de Vil. This lady is just despicable.
Yeah, I mean, from the stuff I have seen, the little clips, like, this woman is not pleasant. But again, I mean, Allison Janney has been winning and getting those nods from the other award ceremonies. So, again, I hadn't seen I, Tonya, but from what I'd heard, this was going to Allison Janney from the start. So. And then actor in a supporting role, we had kind of mentioned that before, Sam Rockwell for Three Billboards.
Yeah.
Again, it was something that was kind of a given for, all the awards prior to this. But, I would have loved to see Willem Dafoe win for The Florida Project, not only because his performance was really incredible, but because I feel like The Florida Project is one of those movies that have just been really overlooked. Yeah, I just wish it got more recognition. I think you had kind of started it, or
I tried to get through it, and it just wasn't for me. Well, it just wasn't something I wanted to watch.
Yeah, I mean, if you stick with it, and I mean, the story unfolds. I think it takes a little bit to unfold, but when it does, I think it's really powerful. It's still my number 2 movie of the year, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah, Sam Rockwell, whatever. I mean, Woody Harrelson was also nominated in the same category for the same movie.
Yeah.
And I thought he was better than Sam Rockwell. But maybe it's just because I liked his character more.
Yeah.
And Sam Rockwell played a racist cop. I don't... This movie confuses me.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, you start out the movie hating Sam Rockwell's character.
But they make
He's
you
just
want to...
despicable. But then at the end, you're kind of like...
Well, they make you kind of want to, you know, be on his side. But it's like, dude, you're not even sorry for anything that you did prior to this. Like, yeah, you're trying to help this woman, but also you threw a guy out a freaking window.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like intentionally doing all of these things and getting away with it. Like, that's not something that I really want to get behind. So yeah, if you want to kill, you know, the guy who killed her daughter, then yeah, go ahead. But yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to forgive you for any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're not remorseful, it's like...
It was really kind of weird in that movie how, like, there were no... There was no repercussions. Like, he wasn't held accountable for anything that he did.
Yeah, and neither was she. I mean, she did a bunch of shit, too. So it's like...
It was kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why this movie is just kind of like...
I mean, you know, maybe she was a little bit under the radar, but I mean, he was a cop, and he blatantly, like, walked across the street and threw a guy out the window and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
How is he not in jail?
Yeah.
You know, but whatever. You know, it's the movie.
Yeah. Anyway, so that brings us to the Oscar for Adapted Screenplay, who it went to James Ivory for Call Me By Your Name. Call Me By Your Name was originally a novel, and yeah, so James Ivory wrote the script, and I mean, watching that movie, it's a beautiful film, and I had heard that the book is a little, it's not rough, but it's just a little, the pacing is a bit slow, and it's a bit kind of like that. So I don't really have a problem with it. I mean,
no, I was fine with it.
Yeah. I would have loved to see Logan win just for the comic book community to see that win an Oscar. Like, that would have been amazing, but I
would have rather had that, but it's good.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think I don't know if we're ever going to get a comic book movie that wins an Oscar.
Well, I mean, we got...
Besides, like, special effects. And,
no, well, we got Heath Ledger. Know. Heath Ledger won for Best Supporting Actor in The Dark Knight, right?
That's true.
In The Dark Knight.
That is true, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I think, time will tell when that happens. Original screenplay, I mean, this was pretty hard to kind of pick. I ultimately predicted Get Out, which did win, so shout out to Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely deserved it.
He deserved it, and, you know, I loved Get Out. I love Jordan Peele, and just hearing him and, you know, his inspiring words, you know, I mean, that speech was great. And hearing him before and after, I mean, he keeps that same kind of
level head. And...
Yeah, I mean, he's different, you know, and I just respect his kind of demeanor and the way he is, and his respect for the craft and the industry, and how he's changing that. Like, he's great.
Yeah. It was interesting how he was talking about how many times he went back to write this over and over and over again, and how kind of like it was a struggle to actually get it made and everything. But, you know, it came out, you know, I think through the struggle and through the fire, you know, it shaped this movie to what he has now. Yeah. And I think anything earlier, it probably wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, sometimes, you know, it takes a little struggle to get that right thing out of there.
Yeah, he became the first African-American screenwriter to win for original screenplay. So he's out here making history. So, yeah, good for him.
So now we had Coco win Best Animated Feature, and then
which I knew.
Yeah, because there was nothing else.
Well, what's funny is
even remotely close to in that category.
Well, okay, but also So the Boss Baby and Ferdinand, I'm gonna throw out because they're whatever. Loving Vincent, from what I've seen, it looks incredible. It looks like a moving Van Gogh painting, but also I didn't see it, so I can't say. And then the Breadwinner, I didn't know that this was made, but I'm super intrigued and super excited to go and see it because it's on Netflix right now. But I read this book in 7th grade, and I remember like being in 7th grade and saying I would love to see this as a movie. And the fact that it's here and it's ready for the world to see and it's nominated for an Oscar, like that's incredible. So I'm super excited to check that out.
I did not know it is on Netflix. I have got to find it.
It's on my list. The Breadwinner. It's about a 13-year-old girl in Afghanistan in the middle of the war, who, when her father gets taken away, she has to kind of be the breadwinner of the family, and she has to do that in various ways. So it's really an inspiring story, and the fact that it was nominated for a best animated feature is really great. So definitely gotta check that out.
Yeah, kudos for them. But I mean, but then Coco was just gorgeous.
Yeah, and I was so excited to see that again. I mean, so good. And then it also won for Best Original Song. And I love that they performed all of the nominees for Best Original Song as well, because you really got a feel for everything. And Miguel and the rest of the people performing "Remember Me" was so nice to see, with all the traditional like Mexican like decorations and everything like that. It was really fun. So I'm glad they won for Best Original Song too, and that's who I picked for that. So happy with that.
Don't know anything about the foreign language film or the documentary.
So what's funny about those is I think documentary feature, Icarus won for that, and then for what was the other one you just said?
Well, foreign language we had Fantastic Woman. And then documentary short subject was Heaven is a Traffic Jam on the 405.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to check these out. I would love to see a Fantastic Woman because that one has been winning a lot as well. So I think I'll check that out.
But I think Icarus is up on Netflix.
Yes. And I'll have to check that one out because it's about, from what I could tell, it's about like cycling competition, and I think Russia in one race or maybe a lot kind of was cheating and was doping.
What is it with Russia and the doping? I mean, it's like,
look, they have to beat America. That's what they do. That's what they want 24/7 since the Cold War. That's all they do is try to beat America. And they will do anything to do that.
But here's the thing that kind of plucks into my head, and apologize for going off on a side tangent.
Also, no offense to anyone listening who's Russian.
Yeah, but it's almost like at this point in time, it's like, I'm an athlete. Where are you from? Russia. Piss here. It's like we already know that you're doping. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like if Russia has to work so hard and dope so much to beat American athletes, what are the American athletes doing?
Just being good.
To be so good that everyone else has to dope to come up to that level.
They're just talented.
It doesn't make sense,
Just talented and they work hard. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Anyway, that's Icarus.
That's Icarus.
Let's see. Another big win for me, which I was rooting for from the moment I saw this film. Blade Runner 2049.
Visual effects. Yeah, baby.
Well, visual effects, they did get that, which was well-deserved. I mean, we got Star Wars in there. We got War of the Planet of the Apes. We got Guardians of the Galaxy. So a lot of contenders, but I mean, Blade Runner was the most visually stunning piece of film in all of 2017. So the fact that it got visual effects and then
cinematography.
Roger Deakins, after all of these years,
14 nominations.
He finally
gets his Oscar.
An Oscar, and I mean, it couldn't have come at a better time for Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's some of his best work, and I'm just really, really happy for him.
Definitely deserved.
Costume design. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Well, Phantom Thread. Course. I mean, the Phantom. I mean, the movie's about making dresses. Yeah. So yeah, might as well.
And watching that movie, it was the costumes in there are definitely beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And then we got sound editing and sound mixing that went to Dunkirk.
I don't get that.
Okay, I mean,
I don't get it.
I would have voted for Baby Driver or Blade Runner for those, especially sound. Okay.
The sound mixing, I think, Blade Runner, because it was just so the mix of all the different things going on in that movie.
The way that,
and it was very powerful.
It really was, and I mean, the music and the sound just it takes you to this world that Blade Runner 2049 is. I mean, visually amazing, but like the audio experience of everything, like it was really just in the theater. The whole thing is freaking shaking with the bass and the score, but just fantastic.
I don't know. We're not experts, so I guess we don't.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
know
Dunkirk,
how the mixing and the editing works.
But maybe this is
slow movie.
It's interesting because Hans Zimmer, who's such a great talent, he was nominated for Best Original Score for Dunkirk as well. And he works with Christopher Nolan all the time. He has some of the most memorable or most iconic scores in movies for this generation. But for Dunkirk, I mean, great score, but not as memorable as some of the other ones. I mean,
The Shape of Water score.
The Shape of Water score, if you want to talk about a movie that really, the score elevates everything in the story. I mean, the kind of fairy tale movie that it is, it needed that element for a score, and it was done beautifully. And so, yeah, congratulations to him, because the composer on that,
Alexander, I want to say
Desplat. I don't know, but well deserved, amazing. Sorry, Hans. Sorry, John Williams. But
I think they have their Oscars.
They're
Oscars. Fine. They've got their gold.
And they have the name. I think they're not household names, but they're well-known names in the industry and everything. But yeah, Alexander Desplat, very, very good. Can't say anything about the short films. Didn't catch any of them.
No.
But production design was for The Shape of Water. Again, it was the fourth Oscar that won, which I could see. I mean,
yeah, I was like, really?
I mean, it was interesting, but also we talk about that world that Guillermo.
And the more I thought about it, I was like, they really just sucked you into that timepiece that it is.
I would have really liked Blade Runner to win for that as well, because, I mean, the set
pieces were fantastic.
They were really, really something special. But I mean, Shape of Water, good on him. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all I kind of have to say about that. But
yeah, I think it was a good Oscars. I mean, a lot of people had fun. The speeches were good. I mean, it wasn't too political. People weren't going all.
It was very political, actually.
Banking.
I mean, it's always.
I didn't see the whole thing, but I mean, what I saw.
Why are you talking?
Yeah, why are you saying anything?
But yeah, so. Yeah, I thought it was a great Oscars as well.
Congratulations to all the winners. Definitely. Suck it for all the losers.
No. Oh, wait.
Try again next year.
Wait, quick shout out to Kumail Nanjiani and Emily V. Gordon, who was nominated for The Big Sick, which I absolutely loved, and I actually just rewatched it, so sorry. Maybe next time.
What did they get nominated for?
Original screenplay.
Aha.
But they lost to Get Out, which, I'm happy with Get Out. So yeah. Sorry, but nah.
That was a good movie too.
It really was. I think that's about it.
I actually kind of wonder if because there's so many comic book movies now, Like it's taking over.
Yeah, of course.
A good quarter, at least a quarter of the cinema kind of viewership.
Yeah.
That, are we going to get a comic book awards movie kind of separate thing?
Well,
because it's such a specific genre, but it's not.
And I just don't think
it's just not artsy fartsy enough for the Oscar kind of critics.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Because the Oscars are, they're kind of known for leaving out those genre movies of the big categories.
Yeah,
best director, best picture, leading actress and actor. Those don't go to comic book movies. So, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I don't think we're ready for a comic book only award ceremony. Or do you think we should get a category like best comic book movie?
I think there's got to be some kind of recognition because look at Logan. Patrick Stewart was a phenomenal supporting actor in Logan.
Yeah.
And I am just brain farting. Hugh Jackman was incredible.
Yeah.
In Logan. I think his performance trumps some of the other performers in some of the other categories.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. And it's like, but it's a comic book movie. So, nobody's going to take it seriously. It's like it's cinema. Cinema's cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
But, whatever.
But, the point of, I think the animated Beauty and the Beast and a few other animated Disney films back in the day were nominated for Best Picture. They were Best Picture nominees.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can be anymore because they have the best animated feature.
Yeah.
And, that's a little bit, it's kind of like cheating them out of that name of, maybe this could get a Best Picture win, that'd be really incredible. But yeah, if you put comic book movies and you relegate it to only that category, is that fair? Because if a movie, if a comic book movie becomes,
if they're going to snuff it all together, at least give some people the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah.
People work just as hard on the comic book movies, if not harder, than on some of these other movies.
Yeah.
So, we're the Oscars and awards ceremonies are about recognizing the hard work and the extraordinary talent that goes into cinema.
Yeah.
So then,
but right now,
be fair across the board.
Yeah, but right now they're really only limited to best sound, best visual effects, stuff like that. Yeah. Which
Are we missing a category? Wasn't there a comedy?
No, not for the Oscars.
Not for the Oscars.
No. Golden Globes has Best Musical or Comedy. And
that's right.
The dumbest category ever.
Yeah, let's put musical and comedy together.
Yeah, let's also nominate Get Out, which was not a comedy. Whatever. Anyway, all right. I think that is about it. If you guys have anything to say, you guys can email us at postproductionpod@gmail.com and hit us up on Twitter and Instagram and
YouTube. Subscribe to
our YouTube channel.
Give us a thumbs up, iTunes. Give us a feedback.
Yeah, if you guys want to review us on iTunes, that'd be really, really great. We'd really appreciate it.
Do it now. Load it.
Yes, do it right now. But also, we want to say thank you for listening and see you guys next time.
See you later.
Bye, guys.